Our showroom. So inside the Blender 4.3, slightly different from previous versions of Blender. And go Shift A, and I will create a cube. So I want to get a cube. I want to make it a real proportions. So 2 by 2 meters is about right. I just want to scale it out, say 2 by 4 meters. So let's type it in. And then press Tab to go inside edit mode. I'll press 3, which is my hotkey to pick the faces. We can also pick the faces or vertices at the top. Then I press delete to delete and pick the faces to delete. So now we have our shell, which if I pick it and move it away, can create a bit more depth. And then I will go Shift A, create a new cube. And I want to decorate our room. So I'm pressing G to move this, pressing S to scale it on different axes, Shift D to move it across, Shift G, Shift D. And I want these guys to fill up the room, so they go a bit more infinite. I might consider to add a bit of ceiling here, so I will go picking the edges, click that one, shift click this one, and Control R to create a new edge loop. And I use my middle mouse button, scroll and add a bit more divisions. And then I pick this guy, the middle guy, and go with the proportional editing. I can now push this all together. If I press G and use middle wheel, I can scroll up and down and press Z to go up in the axis that I need. So I'm creating this little arched ceiling. Then I press 1 for vertex selection. I actually want to go into the transparent mode, so then I can pick all the visible and invisible vertices. Press G, move it down, and I have my cage. By accident, I hit on the floor. So again, here press Z to enter the wireframe mode and pick all the vertices at the bottom. Turn off proportional editing and G and Z plus 0 to scale it down to 0. Now I have a flattened floor. Let's go back, turn off the transparency mode, which helps to select the back faces and back vertices. And I will just Shift D plus R to rotate, Shift rotate to snap the rotation, press S to make it bigger again, to scale it up. And I want to create another part there, press S and Z to scale it upwards. We create a little, very minor decorations. Just something there because we want to give AI ability to think a little bit for itself. One thing I want to add a bit of bevel to all the shapes. So press Shift click on each one of them, press Tab, and everything's already selected. So I'll go Control B to add a bevel. And I just add a little bit of a smooth beveling. We can see that beveling here wasn't happening accurately because this object has been scaled on one axis. So it's not like a uniform scaled object. And to fix that, I have to, well, basically, let's go undo this, press Tab, and go Control A, apply scale. That will apply the scale transform, and it will fix the scale. So now it's a uniform 1:1:1 scale. I'll press Tab, go Control B, and now I can get a bit of these softer shapes because Stable Diffusion does prefer to deal with softer shapes, and I feel like projection might look a bit better if there's some wiggle room for when we will start doing the texture projection with cameras. It will be helpful to have slight softness here. I think this guy as well looks a little bit too jagged, that line, so I can just pick all these guys together and I will bevel and I'm using my middle wheel to get around amount of divisions. So I've got a few divisions running. I have now a nice curve. And maybe I'll just add this columns at the end over there and move these guys across. So instead of that, recreating that on the right, I will just move it and duplicate this model there. I think maybe it doesn't have enough depth. I would just go and scale it in one direction. And Control A, apply the scale transform